In this video, we're going to discuss and dispute some of the press coverage that's been cycling the globe about the premature passing of Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins in Bogota, Colombia last weekend at the age of 50. Many of these, I don't even know if I should call them news stories, are sensationalizing the who, what, when, where, and how, but nobody is asking about the why. Why did this happen? Welcome to the Radioactive Patient, a music, art, and mental health mashup. I'm Allison Strong, your host. Much has been made of these 10 substances that were in Taylor Hawkins' quick and dirty urinalysis, which they're finally saying what it really is, preliminary toxicology. The actual toxicology won't be available for another 6 to 10 weeks. So let's go over these substances. Benzos. I can totally see Taylor Hawkins having a prescription for something like Ativan or Valium to help him sleep as he crisscrossed time zones and, is up playing and getting really high energy. Then we have the big bugaboo, opiates. Oh boy, let's speak ill of the dead. He was on opiates. He deserved to die, right? Wrong. Just because Taylor Hawkins had a drug problem and had an accidental near-fatal overdose in 2001 does not mean that if there's opiates in his urinalysis that he was either abusing them or trying to get high. There could be a lot of explanations for why there were opiates in his urinalysis. One, he could have been on Suboxone, and Suboxone is a partial opiate. Number two, he could have developed chronic pain. I mean, he was getting up there. And as a drummer, I can totally see back pain or shoulder pain. Here's where I think the focus needs to be. Tricyclics, also called TCAs, are kind of clunky, old school substances that have lots of side effects. I know when I was given tricyclics, I was dizzy, I had a dry mouth. The side effects got to me before I could tell if tricyclic antidepressants worked for me. But because of all these side effects, it's very rare to see somebody taking a Nafranil, Elavil, Remeron, these tricyclics, unless they've tried everything else and tricyclics are the only drug that works for that individual. I really wonder if Taylor Hawkins' antidepressants were doing the job, whether or not his mood was being maintained to where he felt like good every day. That's really important. When I was put on PROZAC in 1989 after the tricyclics, I was in radio, I was loving my life, I was married, I had lots of music, I had great relationships with my family, I was working out, and I went from that to PROZAC just bottoming out. I mean, in terms of my brain chemistry, it was like I had jumped off a cliff. And because I was so much more depressed than I ever had been before being put on PROZAC, I didn't have a frame of reference where you think to yourself, well, I've been this depressed before. I know what this is. I've pulled out of this before. I'll be okay. No, I was like, what the hell? I feel like death. And I went back to self-medicating. And that's a very long and roundabout way of me asking, I wonder if Taylor Hawkins had in fact gone back to self-medicating. It's possible. There's this interview that I saw on FM Rock. I'll leave you the link in the About section. Grohl and Hawkins are sitting next to each other and they're responding to a journalist asking them questions about the late Chris Cornell from Audioslave and Soundgarden and Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. And Grohl is talking about how horrible it is to lose a friend and, talking the old party line of, depression is a disease. But who should have been giving that interview is Taylor Hawkins. Instead, he's sitting silently, with that good-natured smile and the sparkly eyes that he had. But he wears that stiff, uptight look of someone who's being talked about when they're right there in the room. I just think that we should stop before we rush to judgment. Wait until all the facts are in about the late Taylor Hawkins. Don't you think he deserves it? That's it for this week's edition of The Radioactive Patient. Please, if you liked, enjoyed, or learned from anything that you heard or saw, please subscribe, like, and especially make comments. That really helps our community grow. I'm Allison Strong, and until next week, ciao for now.